Good morning, children. So today we are going to start a new chapter, permutation and combination. So here permutation means number of arrangements and combination means number of selections. Okay. So let us try to understand. Like here you can see I have taken a question which says how many ways the letters A, B, C can be arranged if two letters are taken at a time without repetition. That means no letters are repeated in any arrangement. Okay. So here we have to take two letters at a time from these three letters. So I can write AB. Okay. I can write BA. These two are considered to be different arrangements. Okay. I can take AC, I can take CA, I can take BC, I can take CB. So clearly these are the possible arrangements. Okay, which can be made taking two letters from this ABC. Okay, and here there is no repetition. In each way you can see that. Okay, that like here AB they are different, BA different, AC different. So there is no repetition. Okay, if in a question they would have asked with repetition, then in this arrangement we could have included AA, BB, CC. Okay, now you can try to figure out in this manner also. Like here we are taking two letters at a time. Okay, that means we'll have two position, first position and the second position. Okay, so imagine that at initially both the positions are empty. Okay, the first position and the second positions are empty. Okay, and you have got three letters with you. Okay, so and you start filling up from this position first onwards. Okay, you fill one first position, then second position, and so on. So here right now both the positions are blank. Okay, and we have got three letters. So if I have to fill position one, okay, if this position has to be filled, okay, then for this position I have got how many options? I have got three options. Either I can put A or B or C. That means three options are there. Okay, and once we have filled this first position, okay, then out of these three, two will be left. Okay, and from those two, okay, we have to fill the second position. So for the second position I will have two options. So therefore total possible of arrangements will be, number of total possible arrangements will be 3 into 2. That means 6 ways you can arrange it. Okay, so all the time you don't have to write this. Okay, all the possible arrangement, and it is not possible also because right now here we had three letters, so it was possible for you to write down all the possible arrangements. But just imagine that you have got 10 letters and from there you are taking 4 at a time. Okay, and then you have to do the arrangement, then it will be a bit difficult for you. Okay, so we have got a formula for this. Okay, so let us see this. Suppose you have n different objects. Okay, you have n different objects and you are supposed to arrange taking r objects from those n objects and without repetition of any objects. Like in this question we had three different letters, that means three different objects. Okay, and out of those we had to take two letters at a time. That means two objects we are taking at a time. Okay, and we have to arrange it. Okay, and there should be no repetition in it. Okay, so here we have, if n different objects are there and you are supposed to arrange taking r objects from those n objects and without repetition of any object, then we have a formula to find the total number of arrangements, or you can say permutations, and it is given by this formula NPR. Okay, which is equal to factorial n upon factorial n minus r. Okay, so if you use this formula for this question, then you can move on this way. Okay, like thus for the above question we had the letters ABC and clearly they are different and we were supposed to arrange them taking two letters at a time and without repeating any of the letters. So total number of arrangements will be equal to 3p2 because total number of different objects were 3. Out of those 3 we were taking 2 at a time. Okay, and we had to arrange without repetition. So 3p2 is equal to factorial 3 upon factorial 3 minus 2, that would come 6. Okay, now let us see what do we understand by combination. So try to understand by this question. Here question says how many ways you can select two letters from ABC. Okay, from these given three letters A, B, C, how you can select two letters at a time. Okay, if you asked to select only two letters at a time, so what are the total possible selections that you can make? Okay, so answer will be AB, AC or BC. In when we are talking about combination, in that case, okay, AB and BA is same, AC and CA is same, BC and CA is CB is same. Okay, by changing the position, okay, here combination does not change. Okay, but for the permutation, if you're changing the position, then you are getting a different arrangement. Okay, so here we had three letters, and from there we were supposed to take two at a time. Selections were made, selection was supposed to be made taking two at a time. So total possible of selections that can be made is three. Okay, that is AB one selection, AC second selection, BC third selection. Okay, so here we had only three letters, so it was easy for us to write down. Okay, but suppose we have more than like 10 or we have 13, 15 like that, so it'll be your selection will be you cannot just select like this. Okay, so we should have a formula for that. So suppose you have n different objects, like here we have three objects. Okay, three letters, so these are different. So suppose you have n different objects and you are supposed to select R objects from those n objects at a time. Okay, so it can be done with this formula NCR. Okay, when we were doing binomial theorem, at that case we had seen this formula. Okay, so in this question, so for the above question, two letters from the given three letters can be selected in 3C2. Okay, that means there are altogether three letters, three objects, and out of those three objects we are selecting two at a time. So how many selection that we can make? Okay, taking two at a time, so we can make three such selections. Okay, now let us move on to this theory part. Okay, so permutation and combination. Permutation means arrangements and combination means selections. So let us start with fundamental principles of counting. Okay, so first one is multiplication principle. Okay, here this says if an event can occur in m different ways, and if following it a second event can occur in n different ways, then the two events in succession can occur in m cross n different ways. Okay, so let us try to understand this by example. Okay, like here the question is how many ways Rahul can go from A to C. So Rahul is at position A. Okay, and he has to go to C. So before reaching to C, okay, via B, he has got from A to B, he has got three route. Okay, he can follow any of the three route. Okay, in order to reach B, and from B to C, okay, he can follow any of the two routes. Okay, so here the question is how many ways Rahul can go from A to C. So if you see, firstly he has to go to B, then he has to go to C. Okay, so how many ways Rahul can go to B from A? Okay, from A to B, how many ways Rahul can go? So he can go three ways. So 1, 2, 3 ways he can go. Okay, so this is one event. Okay, going from A to B is one event. Okay, and once he has reached B, okay, then he can go to C in two ways. Okay, so going from B to C is the second event. Okay, so the first event from A to B, okay, going from A to B can be done how many ways? Three ways. And the second event is of going from B to C, and that can be done two ways. So in total, okay, Rahul can go from A to C in 3 into 2 ways. Okay, that means 6 ways. So Rahul can go from A to B in 3 ways, and okay, here once he has reached to B, then only he'll go to C. Okay, so A to B he can go 3 ways, and once he has reached B, he can go from B to C in 2 ways. Therefore, Rahul can go from A to C in 3 into 2 equal to 6 ways. Okay, so this is what this multiplication principle says. If an event can occur in m different ways, so here this is the first event A to B, and this can occur in three ways. Okay, then it's saying, and if following it a second event can occur in n different ways. So the first event was from A to B, and second event, okay, was B to C followed by the first event, and this second event can be done two ways. Okay, so then the two events in succession can occur in m into n different ways. So in this case, going from A to B and then B to C, okay, that means A to C can be done in 3 into 2 ways, that means 6 ways. Okay, so one more example I have taken over here. Okay, so here example 1, it is based on this only multiplication principle. So here question says, in a cinema hall there are 3 entrance doors and 2 exit doors. In how many ways can a person enter the hall and then come out? Okay, so there is a hall, one can enter 3 ways. Okay, 3 ways are there to enter into the hall. Okay, and there are 2 ways to come out of the hall. So the question is, in how many ways can a person enter the hall? And okay, here and is important. Okay, means we have to consider 2 events. Okay, first and second, and we have to find how many ways the first event can occur and how many ways the second can occur, and we have to multiply that. Okay, because here it is and. Okay, so how many ways can a person enter the hall and then come out? So 3 ways he can enter the first event and 2 ways he can come out the second event. So 3 into 2, 6 ways. Clearly a person can enter the hall 3 ways, and after entering the person can come out 2 ways. Hence the number of ways in which a person can enter the hall and come out is equal to 3 into 2 equal to 6 ways. Okay, now let us see the next principle. It is addition principle. Okay, here it says, if 2 events can occur exclusively, okay, in exactly m ways and n ways. Okay, so here it's saying 2 events are there, both are occurring independently. Okay, then if you are asked that how many ways the first or the second event can occur, okay, then in that case you have to take sum of those events. Okay, number of ways those events can occur, you have to take the sum of. Okay, so here if 2 events can occur exclusively in exactly m ways and n ways respectively, then either of the 2 events can occur in m plus n ways. Either means first event or second event. Okay, so before I see the example 2, let us try to understand this same principle by this example. Okay, the second example over here. Here I have taken the question is, how many ways Rahul can go from A to X? Okay, so Rahul is over here. Suppose Rahul is at home. Okay, and he has to go to X. Okay, so he can start from A and he can reach X via B. Okay, or he can start at D and he can reach at X via E. Okay, so that means Rahul can go follow this route or this route. Yes, understand? So Rahul can follow this route or this route. So firstly we'll find that if Rahul follows this route, okay, via B, if Rahul goes via B to X, then how many ways Rahul can go to X? Okay, so you can see A to B Rahul can go 2 ways, and from B to X Rahul can go 3 ways. That means if Rahul goes from A to X, okay, via B, then Rahul can go 2 into 3 equal to 6 ways. Yes, and if Rahul follows this path, okay, DEX, then you can see that D to E he can go 1 way, and E to X he can go 2 ways. Okay, that means D to X Rahul can go in 1 into 2 equal to 2 ways. Okay, so you can see over here, if Rahul goes this by this route, okay, ABX, then he can go 6 ways. If he goes by this route DEX, then he can go 2 ways. Okay, so here it depends on Rahul whether he follows this or this or this. It is not here, it is not and. Okay, here it is or. He can go this or this. That means I have to find how many ways he can go this way and how many ways he can go this way, and then I have to take sum. So this is only called addition principle. Okay, so here Rahul can reach to X either going via E or D. Okay, so Rahul can reach X via V in 2 into 3 equal to 6 ways. Rahul can reach X via E in 1 into 2 equal to 2 ways. Therefore, Rahul can reach to X in 6 plus 2 equal to 8 ways. So here the addition principle is used. Okay, because here this or this. Okay, whichever event occurs, okay, his purpose is solved. Okay, but here it was and. Okay, because first he has to go to B and then to C. So here it was and. So 3 into 2, 6. Okay, if you see, consider this path also. Okay, so here A to B and B to C. That's why 2 into 3. Okay, and here D to E and E to X. That's why 1 into 2. Okay. Now let's see this example. So I think addition principle is clear to you, because here now it's clear if two events can occur exclusively in exactly m ways and n ways. So here you could see that this is independent of this one. Okay, so this can occur 6 ways and this can occur 2 ways. So 6 plus 2, okay, which gives you either this or this. Okay, so if two events can occur exclusively in exactly m ways and n ways respectively, then either of the two events can occur in m plus n ways. Okay, now example 2 here. How many odd numbers less than 1000 can be formed by using the digits 0 to 57? So odd numbers, and it should be less than 1000. So how many odd numbers you can get less than thousands? Okay, when you are using these digits 0 to 57. Okay, when the repetition of digits is allowed. Okay, that means if you are taking a 2-digit number, okay, then you can write 55, okay, 77. So this repetition is allowed over here. Okay, so here we have to take numbers, odd numbers and less than 1000. So we can have 1-digit number, 2-digit number, 3-digit number. Okay, but we cannot have 4-digit number. Clear? So let's see. Since each number is less than 1000, okay, required numbers are 1-digit, 2-digit or 3-digit numbers. Clear? Now 1-digit numbers, how many 1-digit odd numbers you can make from here? Okay, so you can make 5 and 7. These two are only 1-digit which are odd. Yes, so 1-digit numbers, clearly there are two 1-digit odd numbers, namely 5 and 7, formed by the given digits. Okay, now let's see how many 2 digits odd numbers can be made using these 2 digits, these 4 digits, and even repetition is allowed over there. Okay, so now 2-digit numbers, since we are to form 2-digit odd numbers, we may put 5 or 7 at the units place. Okay, so if at units place you have got 5 or 7, then that number will be odd. Yes, so for the units position, how many options we have? 2 options, 5 or 7. Okay, so at units place we can put 5 or 7. So there are 2 ways of filling the units place. Clear? Now, so unit place is filled. Now we have to fill the tens place. Okay, now we can not use 0 at tens place. Okay, like here you can see that 4 digits are there. Okay, and what we have done is we are making 2-digit numbers. So at units place I can take 5 or 7. Okay, so I can fill the units place 2 ways. Okay, but in tens place I cannot take 0. I cannot take 0. Okay, so I have to take from the remaining only. So now we cannot use 0 at tens place, and the repetition of digits is allowed. Repetition of the digit is allowed. Okay, so we may fill up the tens place by any of the digits 257, because here repetition is allowed. Okay, so for the units place I am forced to use 5 or 7 only because I need odd numbers. So for units place I have only got two options. Okay, for the tens place I cannot use 0 because again the resulting number will become a single digit. Okay, so I have to use some other digits. Okay, but here in the question is saying you can repeat the digit, so I can take any one of those three digits. Yes, so I've got three. I can fill the tens place three ways. Okay, using these three digits. Thus there are three ways of filling the tens place. Therefore the required number of two digits numbers will be 2 into 3 equal to 6. So we can get 6 odd numbers. Okay, two digits odd numbers. Okay, using those 4 digits. Next, let's see how many 3 digits we can get. Okay, odd 3 digit number. So to have an odd 3 digit number we may put 5 or 7 at the units place. Okay, so at units place we must have 5 or 7 to get an odd number. So for the units place I have got two options, that means two ways I can fill the units place. Done. Now next I have to fill the tens place. So in 10 place I can take 0 also, no problem. Yes, I can take this 0 also, no problem. And you know that in this question we are allowed to repeat the digits. Okay, so we may now fill up the tens place by any of the given digits 0 2 5 7. Okay, so there are 4 ways of filling the tens place. Done. Now next we have to fill the hundreds place. Okay, and for hundreds place I can take any digit except 0. Okay, so we cannot put 0 at the hundreds place, so the hundreds place can be filled in 3 ways. Okay, so using this 257. So for the hundreds place I've got 3 ways to fill. For the tens place I've got 4 ways to fill. Okay, and for the units place I've got 2 ways to fill it. Okay, so the required number of 3 digit numbers will be 2 into 4 into 3 equal to 24. Okay, hence the number required. Okay, hence the number of required type of numbers, odd numbers, will be 2 plus 6 plus 24, that is 32. So 32 odd numbers we can get less than 1000. Okay, using those 4 digits. Clear? Now let us see the formula for permutation. So these things we had already seen when we were doing binomial. Okay, so it's simply a recall. Let n be any positive integer, then factorial n is written by this n and exclamation mark. N factorial means this, you have already seen in binomial theorem. Okay, so 4 factorial factorial 4 will be 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 equal to 24. Factorial 0 is always 1. Okay, factorial minus 2 is not defined, that is factorial of negative integer is not defined. Now let's come to this. Okay, formula for the arrangements. Okay, for n different objects. Okay, the number of permutations, or we say arrangement, so the number of permutations of n different things. So you should like be careful that this formula is used for n different things. Okay, things taken are at a time without repetition. Okay, without repetition, where r is less than equal to n is given as this. Okay, so if you have got n different things and out of those you are taking r at a time, okay, you are going to arrange r at a time, and you make sure that you are not repeating any of these objects, then you can use this formula NPR. Okay, NPR is given as factorial n upon factorial n minus r, where r is less than equal to n. Okay, sometimes NPR is also written in this manner, p in bracket n comma r. Okay, okay, factorial n is also written as this. We had also seen in before when we were doing this the binomial theorem. Okay, okay, here actually I have tried to explain you this, how we can use this formula for any question. So here I have taken the example. We have, suppose we have 3 different letters A, B, C, and we are taking 2 letters at a time, okay, to arrange it. So we will get 6, okay, and you can use the formula straight and you can get 6. Suppose you are taking 3 letters at a time, okay, then you can, here your n will be 3, r will be 3, so npr equal to 3p 3, then you will get 6, okay. Now let us see exercise 13(1)b. Here question is evaluate the following. So 10p4, so simply use this formula, okay, use this formula and you will get the answer, okay. Here it says factorial 8 cube upon factorial 6 square, so you simplify it, okay, and you will get the answer. Here it says if np3 is to np2 is 3:1, find the value of n. So here np3 is to np2 equal to 3:1 implies, here we know that np3 means factorial n upon factorial n minus 3 is to this np2 means factorial n upon factorial n minus 2 equal to this 3:1 means 3 upon 1, okay. Now you simplify this, okay, so this will come in division, this second part will come in division, okay, so we can write like this is factorial n and here factorial n will get cancelled, you are left with factorial n minus 2 upon factorial n minus 3 equal to 3 upon 1, okay. This factorial n minus 2 can be written as n minus 2 into n minus factorial n minus 3, okay. Then this factorial n minus 3 in numerator and here in denominator, these two will get cancelled, so you are left with n minus 2 equal to 3, that means n equal to 5, so you got your answer. So this is your homework, you have to do same as the above question. Next is this, if m plus n p2 is equal to 56 and m minus n p2 is equal to 12, find the value of m and n, okay. So m plus n p2 means m factorial m plus n upon factorial m plus n minus 2, okay, equal to 56. Simplify this, okay, and at the end you will get m plus n into m plus n minus 1 equal to this 56 can be written 8 into 7. So clearly you can make out that this is m plus n and here this is 1 less than m plus n. So here it is 8, here it is 7, okay. So you can make out that m plus n is nothing but 8, okay, so you got m plus n. Same way you solve this and you will get the value of m minus n. So you have got m plus n, you have got m minus n. So solve these two equations, you will get the value of m and n, okay. Next question is, there are 10 trains, question number 3.1, there are 10 trains plying between Calcutta and Delhi, okay. In how many ways can a man go from Calcutta to Delhi and return by a different train, okay. So there are 10 trains running between Calcutta and Delhi. Now there is one man who wants to go from Calcutta to Delhi and he has to return again to Calcutta. But here the question is, how many ways can a man go from Calcutta to Delhi, okay, and return by a different train? So suppose he is going by Rajdhani, from Calcutta to Delhi is going by Rajdhani, then while coming back to Calcutta, he is not supposed to come in Rajdhani only, okay. So clearly you can see that when he is going from Calcutta to Delhi, he has got 10 options, yes. But once he has reached over there and when he has to return, then he cannot opt for the same train, okay, by which he had gone to Delhi. So now he is left with only 9 options, okay. So he can go 10 ways and once he has reached there, then he can come back 9 ways, okay. So he can do this how many ways? 10 into 9, that means 90 ways he can do it, okay. So from Calcutta to Delhi he can go 10 ways. From Delhi to Calcutta he has the restriction that he cannot come by the same train, so he can come only 9 ways. You can go for only 9, he has got only 9 options, okay. So therefore 10 into 9 equal to 90 ways a man can go from Calcutta to Delhi and return by a different train, okay. Question 2. There are 26 stations on a certain railway line. Okay, so there are 26 stations on a certain railway line. How many different kinds of tickets of class 2 must be printed in order that a passenger may go from any one station to any other by purchasing ticket? Okay, there must be 25 tickets in each station. Like, there are how many stations? 26 stations. So suppose you are at NJP. Okay, you are at NJP, so obviously you are not going to buy a ticket for NJP only. Yes, so that means that station has got that station will not have ticket for itself. Yes, so here we have got 26 stations, so that means each station will have 25 tickets. Okay, excluding ticket for itself. Okay, so a passenger buys ticket at station 1. Okay, suppose that passenger is at station 1, then he or she can buy how many tickets? 25 tickets. Yes, thus at any station the passenger has to buy how many tickets? 25 tickets. Okay, and hence there are how many stations altogether? 26. So therefore he has to buy 25 plus 25. This will go on till 26. Okay, so he has to buy 26 into 25 tickets. That means 650 tickets he has to buy. Okay, so because your condition was that there are 26 stations. Okay, and question was how many different kinds of tickets of class 2 must be printed in order that a passenger may go from any one station to any other by purchasing the ticket. Okay, so suppose you are at station 1. Okay, then you are not going to buy the ticket for station 1 only. You are going to buy for 2 or 3 or 4 or 25, anyone. Okay, but not for 1. So if you want to go from station 1 to any of the station, then you have to buy 25 tickets. Okay, suppose you are at station 2, then in that case also you have to buy 25. If you are at station 3, then you have to again buy 25. So how many stations are there? 26. Okay, and at each station how many tickets you have to buy in order to go to any station? 25. So that's why 26 into 25 is coming 650 tickets. Okay, the passenger has to buy. Okay, question number 4. 5 letters are written, okay, and 5 envelopes directed. In how many ways can the letter be put in the envelopes? Okay, so 5 letters are there and 5 envelopes are there. Okay, so in how many ways you can put the letters in those envelopes? Okay, so let's say 5 letters are here. Okay, I have numbered it. Okay, labeled it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 letters are there, and you have got 5 envelope. Done. Now, how many ways these letters can be put into these envelopes? Okay, so let us start. So right now I've got 5 envelopes over here and all are empty. Okay, and I've got 5 letters over here. I pick up this first letter. Okay, I take this first letter. Now for this letter, how many options I have here? How many options I have here? I can put in 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. That means for first letter I have 5 options. That means I can put letter 1 in 5 ways. Yes, so letter 1 can be put 5 ways. Now once this letter is put in any one of these 5 envelope, then how many envelopes are left for you? 4 envelopes are left. Yes, now you pick this second letter. Okay, now for this second letter, how many options are left for you? 4 options. That means letter 2 can be put 4 ways. Yes, now once that second letter is put, now 2 envelopes are engaged. Yes, now I'm left with only 3 envelopes. Now I pick up the third letter. Okay, now how many ways I can put this third letter? 3 ways. Okay, now once I put, now I'm only left with 2 envelopes. This fourth letter can be put 2 ways. Okay, and the fifth letter can be put only 1 way. So letter 1 can be put any one of in any one of the 5 envelopes. Okay, so letter 1 can be put in 5 ways, letter 2 can be put 4 ways, letter 3 in 3 ways, 4 in 2 ways, 5 in 1 way. Okay, therefore 5 letters can be put in 5 envelopes in 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Okay, that means 120 ways. Clear? Question number 5.1. How many different numbers of 5 digits can be formed with the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? None of the digits being repeated in any of the numbers so formed. Okay, so here we have got 6 digits. Okay, and using these 6 digits we have to make 5 digits number. We have to make 5 digits number, and there should be no repetition of any digits, okay, in those numbers. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. Here straight we can use the permutation formula. Okay, we are supposed to form 5 digits number with 6 different digits. Yes, here we have got 6 different digits and we have to form a 5 digit number and without repetition. Okay, and there must be no repetition of digits in the number. Therefore there are 6p5. Here n is 6, and at a time how many digits we are taking? 5. So r is 5. Okay, and there is no repetition, so we can use this formula. So 6p5. Okay, there are 6p5 5 digits numbers there, and that means if you solve this you'll get 6 factorial 6 upon factorial 6 minus 5 equal to 720. So you can get 720 5 digits number, okay, using these 6 digits. Okay, question 5.2. Find the total number of numbers greater than numbers greater than 2000 that can be formed with the digit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no digits being repeated in any of the numbers. So here we have to get numbers greater than 2000. Okay, that means numbers will start with that means here we cannot have any number starting with 1. Okay, so let's see. Numbers greater than 2000 will be either 4 digit numbers, okay, or starting with 2, 3, 4, 5, or it will be 5 digit numbers. Okay, so we can have a number greater than 2000 which would be either 4 digit number starting with 2, 3, 4, 5, or 5 digit number. Okay, why 5 digit number? Because we cannot have 6 digit number. Okay, because here 1 is there. Okay, okay, we can altogether 5 digits are there, so we can have 5 digit or 4 digit. Okay, fine. So for 4 digit numbers greater than 2000, okay, so therefore there will be 4 blank spaces. Okay, there will be 4 blank spaces: units place, tens place, hundred place, and thousands place. Okay, so here we are making 4 digits number. So you can see that here at thousands place, okay, we cannot put 1. Okay, we cannot put 1. So for this thousands place, how many options we are left with? We are left with 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that means only 4 options are there for this hundreds place. Okay, and for this we have got how many options we have left with? Here we have got, once out of these 4, 1 is used over here. Okay, then we are left with only 4 options over here. So here for this we have got 4 options, for here we have got 4 options, for here we have got 3, for here we have got 2 options. Okay, so numbers starting with 2. Okay, but here I have done it differently. Okay, I have taken all separate cases. Anyway, let's see. So numbers starting with 2, I can have 2 over here. Okay, and rest position can be filled by this the remaining 4 digits. Okay, remaining 4 digits. Okay, and we are filling 3, so 4p 3, so 24. Number starting with 3, that means here this thousands place is fixed with 3. Okay, that means I can fill this only one way. Now the remaining 3 can be filled out of 4. Okay, in this way, 4p 3, 24. Number starting with 4, so 4 is fixed over here. Okay, the remaining 3 positions places can be filled using 4 digits. Okay, so 4p 3. Numbers starting with 5, so this is fixed with 5, so this is 1 is fixed. Now we have to fill the remaining 3 using 4 digits, so 4p 3. So after you have got this, okay, you have to add you have to multiply all this. Okay, so total number of 4 digits numbers, in fact you have to add. Okay, but here since 24 24 24 24, so it becomes 4 into 24. Okay, so it's come 96. Now for 5 digit numbers greater than 2000. Okay, so here you can see that we will have 5 blank spaces. Okay, so units, tens, hundred, thousands. Okay, and this at 10,000 position. So here we can see that we can take any digit at any position. Yes or no? So we have got 5 different digits, and at a time we have to take 5 only. Okay, so number of 5 digits number formed using the digits 1 2 3 4 5, and with no repetition will be 5p 5, that would come 120. Okay, so 4 digits number we can have 96, and 5 digits we can have 120. So therefore total we can have 96 plus 120. Okay, so this is all for the first lecture.